Thank you very much, Madam Chair, and dear Sister Minister Pandor. Let me start by expressing my sincere appreciation to you for convening this timely meeting. My thanks go also to the Commissioner Bankole for his comprehensive and very useful briefing on the recent developments in the Republic of South Sudan. I would like to recall from the outset that our committee has been created first and foremost to support this sisterly nation in the implementation of the 2018 revitalized agreement to end the conflict and enjoy the peace dividends. And I believe that we all agree that our help is more needed today as South Sudan heads towards a very sensitive phase in its history and a very important one, which translates in the elections scheduled by the end of this year. While reflecting about this major milestone, we cannot ignore the lessons learned from past experiences in many parts of our continent. These experiences have taught us that elections can either help reduce tensions or, on the contrary, exacerbate them further. It all depends on whether the necessary conditions have been met, be it on the political, security, or humanitarian levels. In the case of South Sudan, we are quite concerned that the transitional security arrangements for the unification and redeployment of the armed forces, as well as the constitution-making process, together with the establishment of the necessary institutions relating to elections, are all far behind the timelines set in the 2022 roadmap. We are equally concerned over the worsening humanitarian crisis in this sisterly country, including as a result of the ongoing conflict in neighboring Sudan. In this regard, the figure of 7 million people which could face acute food insecurity in 2024 is indeed extremely troubling. On top of all of this, we are worried about the decreasing international interest in the situation in South Sudan, which has translated into lack of support and even suspension of financial assistance to the key peace process monitoring mechanisms. Therefore, in addition to encouraging our brothers and sisters in South Sudan and pressuring them to comply with the transition terms and the content of the revitalized agreement, I believe that our committee should take into account the regional and international environment surrounding the crisis in South Sudan. With this in mind, I fully support the proposal for our committee to undertake an assessment and solidarity mission to South Sudan as early as possible. I am also of the view that our committee needs to enhance its engagement in support of the peace process in South Sudan. Our ambassadors in Addis Ababa in collaboration with the AU Commission, should be asked to submit concrete proposals on activities that could be undertaken by the C5 during this very critical year. And last but not least, I think that the two-track approach is needed here. The first track being what we can do as C5 towards the South Sudanese parties to help them implement the provisions of the peace agreement, including the unification of the army and the preparation of the new constitution. The second track is about what we can do as C5 to convince the major international partners to recommit themselves to the peace endeavor in the sisterly nation of South Sudan, which is about to embark on a critical and very challenging phase of its history. I have personally listened with great attention to the list of recommendations made by the Director of Conflict Management. I want to refer specifically to the recommendation dealing with the support of our countries to the electoral process. I want to assure you and commit my country to help in the implementation of the recommendation that has been made. Thank you very much, Madam Chair.
Thank you very much.